Rock and roller, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Welcome to the Watchman's Hour with Roshan Melwani. As usual, it took me a long time to get going on YouTube. I just don't understand why this YouTube live stream is like this. Anyways, no clickbait or rage bait to try and hook everyone into watching this stream. This is episode 22. I'm only aware of this stuff now because I stumbled across the fact that it was episode 22 weeks ago. Very, very lucky, very, very, very blessed. When I started this podcast, I had no idea what I was doing or whether I would ever do another episode and whether it was a podcast, and I had no master plan. And I promise you till today, I have no master plan, right? That you have to understand something, and this is not ego, right? So just understand it from my point of view. I have been on social media for maybe a decade or stuff, right? I mean, that's not even correct, right? I always said Facebook came out in 2007, and I've been on Facebook since 2007, posting stuff and whatever. I cannot recall when Instagram started using short video. I think TikTok started using short video in 2018. So let's call it 2018 where I started to slightly blow up, and let's just say by 2019, yeah, I had blown up, right? I mean, that's fair to say, right? So that's a long amount of years. So even if you cut 2019, right, and say, okay, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, that's still 6 long years where I have been very, very, very relevant, right? And I have videos with millions and millions and millions of views. And just to update you, this week as well, I had another 3 videos cross 1 million views. I've written it down here somewhere. Wednesday morning, I woke up to a video crossing 7 million views. I published that video on May the 20th, okay? Then just before noon that day, my collaboration video with Jimmy Content, the one that he shot and launched and collaborated with me, crossed 1 million views, right? And then my collaboration with Super Cool Ben crossed 1 million views. It was his video, right? So every week I'm reporting to you, right, that certain videos are crossing 1 million views. So obviously I'm relevant, right? And hence I believe that I have the right to do this podcast. And the point of the podcast is it goes back to exactly what I'm trying to establish with you guys. I have a lot of followers, right? Yesterday, even some Australian kid showed up to ask for a photo. I said, no, bro, I'm working, man. You buy a suit. He refused to even look at the fabrics. It makes no sense. I mean, he's a fan, this, that. Is he really a fan? I appreciate him. I felt bad for him. I'm with clients and stuff. And he, he just walks out. I mean, he's a young kid, maybe 19, I would say 20, big smirk on his face. Or is he just trying to nab a photo with me for flex or whatever this, that? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But all I know is I was out to dinner last night. And I was with Saloni and Rian. And a very well-respected, long-time famous, local Hong Kong, so when I say local Hong Kong, I mean Chinese trainer, horse trainer, who's still working, who still has winners, came up to me to speak with me and stuff, and so forth. And I felt really, really great about that as well. So because I have a massive fan base that spans the world, right? You know, I've said this before so many times, wherever I've been, post-pandemic, finally when they let me out, I get stopped every day, multiple times a day and stuff, right? So this is an opportunity for me to connect with my fan base and anybody else who's interested in my content in a different way, right? It's like a no-holds-barred conversation and so forth. Now, I did not have that in mind when I first started rambling, okay? But that's what I have in mind now. And like I've said with anything and everything, any speech that I've ever given, any question I've been asked by the media, students, lectures, whatever it is, I said, I am not a master plan, blueprint, business plan, to-do list writer, right? I don't think about tomorrow. And for me, ignorance is bliss, okay? And you know what I mean? I don't need to be hailed, all right, for having the guts to say that ignorance is bliss, okay? You can go ahead and castigate me and condemn me. It really, really makes no difference to me, okay? I'm here to connect with people and so forth because I've worked really, really, really hard to establish myself. I want to say a quick congratulations to the Watchman's Hour Shorts page. So when I returned from London, a body in London reached out to me and said, can we create a Shorts page for you? And can we create a Apple podcast page for you and a Spotify page for you? I said, yeah, of course, you know what I'm saying? So congratulations to how well that Shorts page is doing. And they've just literally now had their first 500,000 view video. So that's a great job for an account that has less than 1,000 followers, for an account that has just been around for a few weeks. Now, there's a lot of content on my accounts, and what I'm asking you to do is to go ahead and follow at the Watchman's Hour, because we'll probably migrate all the content, the clips just to that, and they won't be on my account. So if you want to see the clips, and all the clips have rage, I'm saying, like, the views are incredible for such a tiny account, and such a new account. The views are incredible, right? It's incredible amount of views. So I think we're just going to keep it to that page. I think I've done enough to bring them along. I cannot bring more women. I cannot bring people to try on suits. I mean, I don't even understand the question. And a lot of times in this podcast, and when you see the clips, it's me answering question, right? People have to come to me to purchase clothing, right? I can't bring people, right, to and make them try on clothing. I don't. There's this massive disconnect that we talk about week in, week out, week in, week out. Those who I do videos with, men and women, they have purchased suits from me. They have come to me and they've purchased suits from me, and then they've asked me if they can make a video with me, and then I've presented all the disclaimers to them that I've talked to you guys about many times, and then finally there's a filter, and 1 of 1,000 maybe get a video. Okay, I'm exaggerating that a bit. When you put yourself out there the way I do, right, and now that I'm putting myself out even further with a podcast where I'm rambling and answering questions from the public on basically anything, I'm not shying away from stuff, right? And then when I'm subjecting myself to be cut out at the behest of someone else, and then be broadcast, right, and be taken out of context at times, I'm completely opening myself up for lots and lots of criticism, and I'm only saying this because this is some sort of accepted thing now. But, in my heart of hearts, obviously, I'm not accepting any criticism, right? Like, I don't understand. I've said before so many times, like, I don't understand people who go to videos and then they hate and stuff, and they purposely, premeditatedly misconstrue the point of the video and then bark garbage and stuff. So I'm not accepting it, right? Even though I said that word, I'm definitely not accepting it and stuff. But I understand that's the reality of parts of the world. It is not the reality of the world that we live in by far. 100% not true. So it's an interesting journey for me, and it is also something that hardens me further. And it's, it's great that if we could all live in a soft world, the way we were all born, right? And I don't need to be counted by telling me people are born in war-torn countries or famine. I know all of this. What I'm trying to tell you is that when someone is born, they're so innocent, right? And as they're growing slowly, in different parts of the world, their innocence diminishes because of what's happening around them, right? I'm already on this side of my life, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't think I'm definitely well beyond halfway my lifespan, all right? I don't think that I'm going to live till 96 years old and stuff. I want to live in a soft and innocent environment. I want to behave in a soft and innocent way. I don't want to adhere to what people say in certain parts of the world is the norms of behavior and stuff. I don't want to tiptoe around anything, and I don't. And I just don't. And I don't apologize for that at all. And so forth. And whatever comes my way, comes my way. I mean, I'm not, this judgmental stuff. Of course, I'm a judgmental human being. I've said it 1,000 times. I see a guy in fucking shorts and flip-flops. Already I'm judging him, right? I can see a beautiful woman, but I'll be put up by the garbage slippers she wears, trashy clothes, Lululemon, sweaty Betty, yucky nails and stuff. That's just me. Can't change how I am. Don't really want to change how I am, right? Don't see anything wrong with the way I am, and so forth. That doesn't mean that I'm ignorant to many things, and it doesn't mean that I'm doing anything in a premeditated manner to rage bait anybody and stuff. And it also doesn't mean that I'm completely stupid. I'm very well aware of everything, but I really don't care about different countries' certain norms. It doesn't matter to me at all, right? I'm just here to be me. I'm here to run my business. I'm here to serve my clients, and I'm here to take care of my family and stuff. And I can be more expansive on this. But I'll tell you this, right? Regardless of any which way that I'm judged, okay, or interpreted, or purposely misinterpreted, right? I have clients every day. I have clients every day, and I can honestly tell you they think the world of me, right? Why? Because I'm extremely good at what I do, okay? How is that the truth? The longevity of my career, the success of my career, the success of my work, and the wealth accumulation that has stemmed from it. There's no farce here. There's no hustle and stuff. I work with people and I create great clothing for them. I made a little note to tell you that I had such a great work week, okay? I had clients from Germany, Turkey, Australia, obviously USA, right? Mainland China, obviously Hong Kong as well, Venezuela and Costa Rica, okay? And Singapore, all right? And maybe I missed some other clients when I was out at lunch or whatever. But, you know, I had a huge week, and I had clients from Germany, Turkey, Australia, USA, mainland China, Hong Kong, Venezuela, Costa Rica, and Singapore and stuff. And this week was probably the best week we've ever had since 2019, since, you know, the ugly COVID came by, you know what I'm saying? And it was incredible. And yes, some of the clients were people who had seen me on social media, right? I had clients from Switzerland as well. Forgot to mention that. So there was a young man who's working here, maybe she's post-grad, so like 22, 23 from Switzerland. And he came in to buy some clothes a few weeks ago, and I was really, really happy. And now his parents, who are staying at the Rosewood Hotel, so that automatically tells you what demographic, income bracket they're in. He brought his mom, his dad, his younger brother, younger sister. So his dad bought a suit, his mom bought a suit. He bought more stuff. Obviously, the parents are paying for it now. His younger brother bought stuff, but the younger sister didn't buy anything, right? And he came in because of Instagram, right? Or wherever that he saw me and stuff. People come in from Germany and Turkey who had seen me on social media as well. But I had many other clients. Did I mention they were from England as well? I think I did. I had many clients who are repeat customers that came in. I had many clients that came in who were recommended customers, and I had many clients that came in who had seen us on, say, Google reviews, and I had clients that were recommended. I had Mexico. I forgot to mention Mexico this week as well. And I had clients that came in on the recommendations of their hotel. So it was such a great week, and it was probably half of the turnover, daily turnover, that I did pre-pandemic, okay? And I hadn't hit those heights since 2019 itself, right? So I'm still way behind. My business is nowhere near how it was before and stuff. But, you know, God bless this week, and thank you, God, for this week. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, God, so much for this week. And I hope I have this week over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And I very rarely hope for things. I sort of just make things happen. But you know, I'm here to bare my soul to you. As cliched as it sounds, because if you're asking me and you're not asking me, and if I'm telling you and I've decided to tell you, and if I finally come up with why I started this podcast, it is because locally and globally every day I'm approached, whether it's in my store or on the street, by people that I've never met in my entire life, telling me that they love my videos, okay, and stuff. So I'm here to create another avenue, another channel to connect with these type of people and open myself up to them. Just the way that I've been asked by universities in Hong Kong and abroad to speak with them, to lecture to them, post social media notoriety. But also, like I mentioned before, I have spoken to a ton of United States colleges and Hong Kong educational institutions, pre-pandemic, pre-social media, pre-everything, okay? Now, I want to get an important point across, okay? That you guys either are completely misinformed by your government in the West. Define the West as however you want, okay? They're not saying this stuff in Japan, and they're not saying this stuff in China, Korea, and they're not saying this stuff in Saudi Arabia, they're not saying this stuff in Russia. I don't hear it from Australia or New Zealand. In fact, I don't hear it from anywhere in Europe as well. And I don't really think I hear it from Canada. And I don't think I hear it from Central or Southern America. So go ahead and define the West as what you want based on what I just said, okay? In China, which is where I live, okay? And Hong Kong is a city in China, okay? There is no such thing as though if I say Xi Jinping is bad, and I do not think he's bad, and I'm not saying that to be safe here. I think he's a great leader, all right? But that's a topic for another time, okay? I think Xi Jinping is a great leader. But it is 100% not true what people in the West think, that if you speak out against your leader, that you're going to be dragged away and arrested and held up or punished or something. That is just not true, all right? It is, and you know, people still in the comments now, I mean, in the Q&A and stuff, right? Daniel, can you go ahead and block this guy? Because it's kind of stuff that I don't like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you stuff openly and honestly, and you guys are barking nonsense to me, right? So you've got to believe me when I tell you I'm here in Hong Kong. I traveled to the United States last year. I've traveled to London this year, okay? If you criticize your leader openly, right, you're not going to be arrested, right? If you break the law, okay, if you break the law, all right, you're going to be arrested, okay? So if you go and blow up a building or squat in a bank or a government place, and there you're criticizing Xi Jinping, you will be arrested not for criticizing Xi Jinping. You will be arrested because you're breaking the law. You're squatting in a bank, or you've just thrown a Molotov cocktail into some sort of building. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so you've got to understand that whatever your media and government is spewing to you about life in China, it is 100% not true, and I promise you that. In Hong Kong, we have leaders that are called chief executives, okay? So I don't know how to relate it to your country, okay? So I think that probably the best term is mayor, and I think that's the best term because in London it's a huge city, and they have a mayor which runs it, and that I don't know if that mayor actually reports to the Prime Minister. I know in the United States, major cities like New York have mayors, but I know in the United States the mayor doesn't necessarily report to the governor nor the president, okay? So we have people here called chief executives, and they are a 5-year term, all right? And there is nothing in our law that says that we cannot criticize our chief executive, okay? In fact, when I post photos with ex-chief executives, when I've posted video with ex-chief executives that I've met, when I've posted videos with our current chief executive, and this is all in the last, say, couple of weeks, all right? Let's say from October 1st to today, in the last 2 weeks, I posted a video featuring me and John Lee, who was our current chief executive, and I posted a photo of me, my father, and our previous chief executive, Carrie Lam. And there's a lot of people from that umbrella movement, that yellow movement, whatever it is in Hong Kong, that spewed a lot of hate on Insta. Suddenly, the Chinese, what's that guy called? Who's the guy in the Matrix that is against Neo? Anybody tell me? Who's the guy in the Matrix that's against Neo? Anybody, quickly, come on, we've got smart people here, right? Suddenly that you don't know. You don't know about American culture and stuff. You only know how, who's the agents? Who's the main agent? The field guy, I want the field guy blocked right now. Who's the main agent? Mr. Smith, Agent Smith, okay? There are people in my comments throughout my videos and photos with Donald Chung, Carrie Lam, John Lee, okay? Hong Kongers, okay? Who hate, okay? But there's no Agent Smiths that suddenly come out. There's no Agent Smiths that suddenly come out and arrest you, okay? And lock you away, all right? when it's open for everyone to see. So, this nonsense that you think that China is looking at anything and everything, and if there's any criticism on the internet, or if there's any criticism vocally, you're going to be arrested. It is just not true, okay? If you genuinely believe that, then you're paying yourself as a human being a disservice, all right? Because you're buying into something that's completely not true, and maybe you've learned this from hearsay from other people, or you've heard this from CNN or the BBC, utter nonsense, okay? Or you've heard this from your government, okay? And then they're lying to you, all right? Okay? So I'll go back to what I'm saying. You can criticize Xi Jinping. You can criticize the leader of Hong Kong, John Lee, the previous leader of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, okay? There's no Agent Smith that's going to come out and lock you away, all right? But if you go and hijack a bank or a train station or a university, okay, and sit there and criticize our government, you're actually being arrested for the crime that you committed. But what the media does is, okay, the media in the West, they do not say, hey, look, these people were all arrested because they stormed a bank, or they blew up a train station, or they invaded a university, or they broke up the streets. They just say they were arrested because they were protesting their leader. It is a lie, okay? I'm here living through it, okay? And I'm not some guy who is just barking on the internet, all right? I'm a guy who's doing business with individuals and wealthy individuals and world famous people day after day after day for the last 26 years, all right? It's better you believe me. I am no puppet or patsy for China, okay? And I will be honest with you. I am happy to even be a puppet or patsy for China, all right? I will say this openly. I'm happy to be a puppet or a patsy for the Hong Kong government, happy to be a puppet or patsy for the Chinese government, okay? All right? Because when your country calls, right? That's what I believe in. Even JFK said that, if I'm not wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, all right? But they're not asking me to do that, okay? And I'm not here doing that. I'm trying to reach out to people and tell you that what you're hearing about China and Hong Kong is utter nonsense. There's no Agent Smiths around. There's no concentration camps. There's none of that stuff, okay? We are free. There's 1.4 billion people in China. Wherever you look, wherever you live, you are seeing Chinese people, okay? Lisa, are you there? And is the audio there? And if this guy is lying, can you block him immediately, okay? So, Lisa, did you hear what I said? Is there audio? Just answer me fast, okay? And if there's no audio, block the liar straight away, okay? So stop thinking this nonsense, okay? Please, I'm asking you, please stop thinking this nonsense, all right? Now, I'll tell you some anecdotes, okay? All right, so I had a woman here, max 2 months ago. African-American woman, that's how you guys like to call it, right? She works for Instagram. So she works for Meta. Lisa, are you going to block them or do I have to do this? She works for Meta. All right. So she works directly for Instagram. And she's come to Hong Kong on a business trip. Okay. And she's telling me that, I haven't even logged onto my Insta, right? It's banned here. She works for a company that Mark Zuckerberg owns. Okay. She's in her 30s. She's paid big bucks. She's from the United States. She's a woman. She's an African-American woman. And she's come here, works for Instagram, come to the Meta office here, okay? And she said, I haven't logged on my Instagram. I thought it's banned here. I can log on now. Maybe do I have to use a VPN? I'm like, we're in Hong Kong. We are in Hong Kong. How are you guys watching my videos? How have I garnered nearly 1 billion views? Maybe more. I'm talking about 1 billion, right? You know what I'm saying? Like across all my videos, across all my platforms over the last 6 years. How is everybody watching it when I'm broadcasting on YouTube, American company? TikTok, yes, Chinese company, but TikTok is the American version. And on Instagram, and on Snapchat, and on LinkedIn, and everything else. X. You know what I mean? How am I broadcasting? How am I doing the things that I'm doing? Okay? When all of you guys are saying this nutty stuff about China, nutty stuff, it's just not true. There's 1.4 billion people here. They're all Mr. Andersons? Are they all Mr. Andersons that haven't taken the blue or the red pill and are just locked into the matrix? I had the same conversation with the BBC in maybe 2020 or 2021, and I think they published clips of it, and I said to them, come on, give me a break. What are you talking about? Okay? We are not all Mr. Andersons, okay? Locked into the matrix, okay? We're not all trying to break out and swallow a blue or red pill and be Neo. And there's no Agent Smiths around that come after us. All right? You guys are talking nonsense. Utter nonsense. We're a country of 1.4 billion people. Look around wherever you are, wherever you live, the Chinese person, ask them. Ask them before you bark. And you're barking garbage about China. This rhetoric about China is just nonsense. And it doesn't mean you're smart when you bark it. And it doesn't mean you're funny. Okay? Because the only people who think you're smart and the only people who think you're funny are your idiot friend right next to you, who is just as misinformed. Okay? I'll fucking block this guy. Daniel, you need to block these guys, yeah? And, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else is looking at you and they're saying how stupid you are. All right? This is, I can't remember exactly what I told the BBC. Do you know what is the BBC? This is the British Broadcasting Corporation. Okay, in one of my interviews with them. I think I said something like, listen, no matter what you say, we are the Man United of the world, like the AC Milan of the world. Okay, I said that then. Now I could say PSG, right? Right? People will want to come. Because that's how great Hong Kong is. Okay? People will want to come. Because that's how great Hong Kong is. You know what I'm saying? No matter what rhetoric that you spew or you buy into, all right? Okay? It is not going to be, it is not the truth. And the only people laughing and listening to you are people as stupid as you are, okay? Literally that dumb and stupid as you are, okay? Or they're just doing it because they're degenerates. They also know you are dumb and stupid and none of it's true. And if you are actually giving in to this anti-China rhetoric, your own media and your own Western governments, they're also laughing at how stupid you are. They're laughing at you how stupid you are because you're their sheep that they're shepherding. Okay? Because they know that's also not true. We are not a bunch of Mr. Andersons locked into the matrix, and if we come out of it, the Agent Smiths are going to come out after us. Okay? So give up this garbage about China. You're making a bloody fool of yourself. You're making an absolute fool of yourself. All right? Think about what I can't understand how you don't think about what you're saying before you speak. Can you not see how many billion, with 1.4 billion people walking the streets, working on WeChat, fucking on Alipay, on the internet, watching your shows? Do you understand what I'm saying? Watching the English Premier League. You know what I mean? We got more English Premier League viewers here in China than you have in your West, in your own bloody country, England. Okay? And I'm not knocking the English here. It's only that, I'm not knocking Europe here. I'm not knocking Australia and New Zealand here, or Canada, or Central America, or South America, or any of the Arab nations and stuff. Okay? So you just, I'm not knocking anyone. You just figure out where it's all emanating from yourself. All right? I mean, if there was a world's stupidest nation award up for grabs right now, right? If there was a world's stupidest nation award up for grabs right now, who do you think is going to win it? And you are better than that. You are better than that. So why are you buying into the garbage that your media and the government are spewing when it's nonsense? Can you not see that we're free here in China? What? Can you not see? Forget. Are my videos a fantasy? Do you see only Chinese people in my videos? You don't see white people, black people, Arab people, Indian people, people from USA, men and women of all colors, people from the United Kingdom, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Serbia, from Macedonia. I had a client from Serbia this week. That also, I knew I had tons, okay? Can you not understand that that what you're listening to is utter garbage? Utter garbage. How can you buy into and believe into utter garbage? I mean, you're just a fool then, right? You are an absolute utter fool. You're a sheep of your government and sheep of your media, okay? I watch CNN here. It's not blocked. I watch the BBC here. It's not blocked. I've got MSNBC here and CNBC here. It's not blocked. I've got Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon here. It's not blocked. Okay? I've got Sky News here. Okay? It's not blocked. So, the thing that, if there's any anti-China rhetoric on the news, it will be blocked. I'm watching it all. I'm watching all the anti-China rhetoric on the Western news. How is it blocked? Where's the censorship that you guys are barking on about? I mean, do you realize how big of a fools you are? One, you are stupid for believing all this garbage that your government tells you and your media is telling you. You're actually that stupid, all right? In 2019, we had 70 million visitors to Hong Kong, 50 million from the mainland and 20 million from the rest of the world, according to government figures, okay? That is a lot of people. They're not going to come if they're as stupid as you are. And I will reiterate, if you buy into the garbage, then your own media and your own government is laughing at you because you've become the sheep that they've shepherded. Okay? I'll give you a message to Hong Kong. I'll give a message specifically to Hong Kongers out there who rag on their current government and who rag on China and stuff. They should be ashamed of themselves. And this is me, a Hong Konger born and bred, speaking to Hong Kongers in general and stuff. And I've spoken to Hong Kongers like this always, okay? We are the freest city in China. Hong Kong is the freest city in China, and I'm not knocking other cities at all. You know, Chinese cities are amazing, and the infrastructure that other Chinese cities have, and the entertainment that other Chinese cities have, the space that other Chinese cities have, the service that other Chinese cities have, I think they dwarf Hong Kong now. And I'll happily say that, and I'll take stick from the Hong Kong Tourist Association and the Hong Kong Hotels Association, whatever it is, okay? I've seen how mainland China is, but we are still the freest city in China, okay? And Hong Kongers should appreciate that, all right? They shouldn't be knocking their government. They should be praising their government for keeping us as a special administrative region with freedoms that other Chinese people don't have. What are those freedoms? The basics that you people all love. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Google. You know what I'm saying? When you cross over, you need a VPN to access that stuff. You can't just do it from your phone or Wi-Fi. You have to switch to a VPN. All right? And I don't know if existing household. There's a video that I never put out that I should have put out in December. I was raging. I'm in my bed at the Ritz-Carlton in Guangzhou. Okay? I'm in my bed in the Ritz-Carlton in Guangzhou with Rian watching the news, waiting for the girls to get ready. And we're watching fucking CNN. I'm like, you know what? I'm in fucking mainland China right now. And I'm watching CNN. So what are these idiots barking about? What are they even saying? Okay? All right? If there are times that the Chinese government has blocked out CNN or BBC, okay, I'm sure there has been, okay, spewing anti-China rhetoric, I think actually the Chinese government doesn't need to do that, all right? Because the Chinese people are smart enough to see, look at the nonsense these people are barking. Okay, look at the nonsense these people are barking. And they will laugh at the West, just the way I do, okay? And I'm not anti-West. You know what I mean? I went to the university in the United States, okay? I lived in England for work. I've vacationed extensively in the United States. I've vacationed in England very recently, okay? There is no There's no hate from me towards Western nations, and there's no bias from me towards Western nations. I am simply standing up for the country that I live in, saying that what you guys are saying about us is utter nonsense. It doesn't exist, and it is not true. Okay? So you don't have to follow my advice, and you don't have to change. But I'm not going to change based on your perception of who I am, your perception of where I live, your perception of what my government is about, your perception of what my country is about. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to change because your view is nonsensical. And that's pretty much it. And I could go on and on and on and on talking about the virtues of China and the virtues of living here, but I've discussed this in previous episodes. Monday morning was pretty incredible, okay? I love collaboration videos. I absolutely love them. I think they're awesome. I love to do collabs with people that are relevant, not garbage. Ha ha, look at me, ha ha ha. I'm not talking about that crap, okay? Monday morning was awesome. I woke up 4 something a.m. I think I woke up 5 something a.m. Monday. I was really tired. And I woke up to 3 collaboration videos that I didn't even have to publish any of my content. One was from Art Friedland, who is one of my greatest clients ever. I have been working this week with a gentleman called Daniel Cohen, okay? He's a Venezuelan Jew, okay? I love this kind of stuff. None of this shit should matter, right? None of this shit should matter because but it matters to, I don't know, people in the United States get off to hearing this stuff. Like it's supposed to be funny or it's supposed to be weird or something. Anyway, the guy's a Venezuelan Jew, settled in Miami for the longest time ever, speaks in a Venezuelan accent, understands Venezuela, Chavez, Maduro, everything, is a practicing Jew, has children that are born in the United States, who are practicing Jews, who have married fellow Jews, and who have married also non-fellow Jews. And he's an amazing client of mine. So he comes and sees me twice a year. He couldn't come during the pandemic, obviously. He's come and see me twice a year. And I just saw him in April. I've seen him now in October. He's bought 2 suits, 4 jackets, 6 trousers, and 17 shirts. Okay, 2 suits, 4 jackets, 6 trousers, 17 shirts. A few months ago for his son's wedding, he bought a tuxedo for his son by mail. And a few months before that, when he came in April, he bought a whole bunch of stuff, including a tuxedo for his son's wedding. Okay. I worked with his partner, a good lady from Costa Rica, I believe she's from, yeah? No, not Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. Excuse me, Puerto Rico. And I made her another suit, and this is the 3rd suit that I'm making and stuff. And I think the great part about them is that they were gagging to get back to Hong Kong and China, okay? They were gagging to get back to Hong Kong and China because they were not allowed in during the pandemic, right? And they needed to do business. And no matter what President Trump does with his tariffs and stuff and whatever, I guarantee you, all right? And this is where the left differs from the right, and it's more about people, it's more about that welfare crowd, right? You know what I mean? Like, who just want money from the government and stuff, right? I always tell people, join the rat race and work hard. Work hard, join the rat race, work hard, join the rat race. The hard work will reward you, the universe will reward you, God will reward you, whatever you believe in will reward you. But you've got to work hard first. The hard work has to come first, all right? So as soon as the pandemic was over, they could come, and they came, and they've been coming twice a year since. They buy a bunch of shit from me, and they go to the mainland and stuff. They live in the United States. But they're harvesting product constantly from Hong Kong and China, and this is not just one random set of 2 people, right? This is the basis of business with Hong Kong, globally and historically. This is the basis of business with China, globally and historically. And that's not going to stop, okay? All right? We've just had an electronics fair featuring robotics. And United States clientele said, look, we're going to buy it no matter what. Because even with the 100% tariffs, potentially 150% tariffs, and 200% tariffs, we're still going to be able to sell it at a markup because nobody makes it better than the Chinese. Nobody makes it better than the Chinese. And they'll buy it. So who will suffer? Who will suffer? Actually, the only people who suffer are small operators like myself. All right? I mean, you've got to understand that your perception of things and then the examples that you use, okay, for example, right, bringing up Tiananmen Square. First of all, I want to know, those who bring up Tiananmen Square, were you alive in 1989? Secondly, were you even in China in 1989? Thirdly, have you ever been to China? Okay? Look, I don't live in Guangzhou, and I don't live in Beijing, I don't live in Shanghai, and I don't live in Shenzhen, okay? But I live here in Hong Kong. And in the build-up to June 4th, 1989, every year, there is stuff in the press, the local press, the South China Morning Post, that's all I can read, the English press. And then there are vigils every year. So if you are thinking that the memory of 1989, now listen, you know what I'm saying? I can't help who I am, okay? I can't force myself to care about something that I don't care about. You know what I mean? You want me to lie to you and tell you I care about something? You know what I mean? You know, if what's the point, right? And then you want to fucking grill me, castigate me for telling the truth. In the build-up to June 4th, right, every year in the papers, they will talk about what happened, and there will be vigils here in Hong Kong. I don't know about other cities, okay? So this stuff about China completely brushing whatever happened in Tiananmen Square under the carpet is nonsense. It's nonsense. Again, you're being lied to, okay? I think next June 4th, I'll bring out, as soon as the first article comes from the paper, I'll just broadcast, hey, look at this. Written in our press, here in China. Something about June 4th, 1989, okay? I was alive, June 4th, 1989, living right here in Hong Kong, okay? The people who bring up June 4th, 1989 are not alive, were not alive, okay? The people who are alive, who are my age and above, they don't bring it up. Like, people are not stupid enough. People, commentators on CNN and the BBC, right? People in Congress and stuff are not stupid enough because they're old and they were alive at that time to bring this shit up, okay? It's only dumb fucks, dumb idiots, dumb, stupid haters, dumb, stupid people who have nothing in their life that bring up stuff from the past that they were not even alive to see. Not even alive to see. Okay? So it's silly to use that as a defense. It is silly to use stuff that's happened in the past that you were not alive then. Okay? My focus is on nothing pre my birth. Alright? And I said, even in my last episode, right? I said, whatever happened in India, I was not born in India. Does that make me any less Indian? Not to me. You've seen me wear my India shirts. I don't wear an England shirt. I don't wear a Hong Kong shirt. India came to Hong Kong to play a World Cup qualifier in soccer. I'm going to support India even though I live in Hong Kong, right? I mean, I can't help myself, right? If Hong Kong play England, I'll support Hong Kong, right? If England play USA, I'll support England, right? You know what I mean? I'm an Indian living and born and raised in Hong Kong with a British passport and stuff. This is what I've chosen for myself. Okay? Right? So, I mean, like, I don't care what happened before I was born, right? So, there's movies, I spoke about this last episode, I can't believe I have to say this again. There's movies about Gandhi. I played Gandhi when I was 18 years old in high school in some short skit and stuff. But I've never hated on British colonialism, you know what I mean? I am an Indian and the United Kingdom colonized India. This is well before I was born. Nothing to do with me. Did it affect my family? Yes. It affected my father. It affected my mother. It affected my paternal grandparents, my maternal grandparents, my paternal great-grandparents. I don't know anything about my maternal great-grandparents. Okay? But it never affected me. I was born here. I don't fucking hate the English. I've never hated the English. I've never said, oh, you colonize India, I fucking hate you. Jesus, I spoke about this last episode. I spoke about this, you know what I mean? I spoke about this and stuff. Without having to bring up specific indigenous people, as they like to call themselves, you know what I mean? From various countries. So the fact that, random people who are not even Indian, not even Chinese, not even English, use this kind of stuff against me, saying, hey, you should be like this, or you should be like that, blah, 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 because the United Kingdom colonized India, or, tanks rolled over in Tiananmen Square and stuff, and you're living in China and stuff, do you know what I mean? I'm the I'm the young Chinese boy guy, okay? Okay, I use a hanger to stay away from under 18s. There's no video anywhere of me violating an under 18-year-old, okay? And then once you're over 18, it's plenty of consent, screaming plenty of consent. They've begged for it. I toss the hanger and I violate them because they have begged for it in front of a live audience, okay? I'm not the flag bearer, flag holder for those who suffered in 1989, Tiananmen Square. I'm not the flag bearer or flag holder to be against England, okay? Because they colonized India before I was born, and I'm Indian. I mean, you're talking nonsense again. These are the comebacks that I get. My advice to you is that, first, please don't argue with anybody about anything, all right? There's no point to it, all right? Why would you waste your time arguing with anybody about anything, especially a random person that you don't know about any issue there is whatsoever? I don't argue with anybody about anything. I even eat my dad's shit, okay? My job is to go out and make money. My job is to go out and make people happy. My job is to go out and make people famous. Make myself famous. You know what I mean? My job is to go out and be somebody, be a hero to my kids, right? And that's my advice to you, right? Stop thinking about shit that doesn't have anything to do with you, okay? You know what I mean? The world doesn't need more activists. The world doesn't need more protests, all right? My advice to you as a human being is to be selfish, okay? Seriously, all right? Why don't you start with that, okay? You make more of a mark if you first be selfish and become accomplished, okay? And once you're accomplished, then you can actually make some change happen. But being a nobody and trying to be an activist and a protest and bitching on people and stuff, it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the person you're targeting. It doesn't help the cause you're after. And that is the truth. Okay? There's only one Greta Thunberg who came out of nowhere. All right? The last few years hasn't produced another. If there's 100,000 Greta Thunbergs right now, then, maybe what I'm saying is bullshit. But if you want to ever try and be able to be somebody to get your point across and make a change, first you need to be selfish so that you can become accomplished. Okay? You need to be selfish so you can be accomplished. And then you can decide what you want to do. All right? And then you might actually have people listen to you. But sitting and barking when you're a nobody, when you haven't done anything, when you're young, when you're not wealthy, when you're stupid, when you don't have a job, when you're not fucking famous, it's no fucking point. I don't know. I've said this in so many fucking ways. People just don't get it. You know what I mean? Nobody's telling you don't be you, right? I'll never tell anyone not to be you. But if you really want to be you, build a platform for yourself. I've said this so many fucking times. I don't understand why the fuck people cannot understand this. I hope Watchma'S Hour Shorts cuts this part out and actually gets my advice across, rather than the controversial, silly stuff that I say that's taken out of context or is in a response to a question that I've been asked. I'll give you a anecdote, okay? It's a story. My father never closes a shop in the past. Never, ever, ever. Things have changed a little bit recently, okay? COVID had handed out. So, my first child was born March 2009. So, February 2010, my first child is 11 years old. I don't have my second child yet. And my dad tells me, the day before first day of Chinese New Year. He said, Roshan, we're going to close the shop tomorrow. Never in my fucking life till that day had my father ever told me we're going to close the shop. Now, maybe he didn't come to work this day, but he made me work. I said, this bastard wants to close the shop? Cut a long story short, on his side, he was going to Macau or something. Okay, asshole, he's taking a few days off. Couldn't you have told me a few days ago even? Couldn't you have told me yesterday? I'll take a few days off also. I make plans. Okay, you're giving me the day off. Great, but at least tell me in advance. Okay, fine. So then I'm lying down on the sofa that night, and Serena's a baby, 11 months old, on my chest. And I'm watching television on, okay? And then my father calls me. I said, yeah, what the fuck do you want? He said, tomorrow morning, okay? Now, this is a long time ago, so I'm not going to remember all the specific details, okay? But I'm going to tell you the true story. Tomorrow morning, you have to go to the landmark Mandarin Oriental. Now, listen to this carefully. And meet Kevin Costner. Do you know who Kevin Costner is? He's an Oscar-winning director, Dances with the Wolves, right? So I was like, and he said, he's in room 321. This is the part that I'm just making up, right? I don't remember room number. And the password is John Smith, okay? So I was like, are you serious? Kevin Costner? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I couldn't get a hard-on for Kevin Costner because I had never had a day off in the 10 years, 11 years that I'd worked for him up until then. I had vacation, limited amounts, right? But I never had a day off. Just like today, I'm here at work. Hence the birth of the Watchma'S out. I never had a day off. So I was pissed. Because for the first time, just a few hours ago, I've been given a day off. I'm already pissed because this guy had some pre-planned thing. And this is what he does. He pre-plans. He never tells you anything. Fucking asshole. And so my wife is telling me, you should be happy you're meeting Kevin Costner. I was like, yeah, I understand. I know I should be happy, but I can't be happy. I can't be happy. I'm pissed right now. And she's like, you're being immature. I said, I know I'm being immature. But I'm pissed because for the first time in 10 or 11 years, I've been given a day off and then it's been taken away from me. She's like, it's only going to be a couple of hours. Is that? I was being a baby. So the next day, first day of Chinese New Year, I go to the landmark Mandarin Oriental, and I'm not wearing a suit, okay? I remember exactly what I'm wearing, but I find it hard to describe to you. I'm wearing blue jeans with a lot of fucking details, okay? Just like I always do, okay? I'm wearing crazy blue jeans. This is 15 years ago, okay? And it's cold, so I'm wearing like this beigey gold long sleeve top that I think I bought in Dallas with a collar and a little bit of here open, no buttons. And it's like made of velvet, okay? So I go with 2 bags of samples to the lobby of the landmark Mandarin Oriental here in Hong Kong. This is 15 years ago. The Chinese people at the desk. And I said, I need to go to room 321. They look at me like I'm an asshole because I'm not wearing a suit. And that's why I always tell you, look, Hong Kong may have evolved in 15 years, okay? The world may have evolved in 15 years, but no matter what, people look at you different when you're wearing a suit. I'll never forget that day at the desk, the way they look at me like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of life. Okay? Dress up in a suit, nobody's going to look at you like you're an asshole. Trust me. You're not Mark Zuckerberg, you're not Elon Musk. Wear a fucking suit. Okay? Become somebody, then you can maybe fucking dress like an asshole. Until you become someone, please dress up properly. Okay? I'm giving you great advice here. Okay? Until you become someone, please dress up properly. Once you become Mark Zuckerberg, once you become Elon Musk, you want to dress like an asshole, go ahead and dress like an asshole. But until you're someone, dress in a suit, because people are going to look at you like you're a fucking asshole. Okay? So I was there with my 2 bags, all right? I think it was Sam's Taylor bags, wearing my crazy jeans and my gold velvet top. And these fucking Chinese people, okay, look at me like I'm an asshole. And I'm like, motherfuckers, you know who the fuck I am? Anyways. So they're shocked that some asshole is trying to go and see Kevin Costner, supposedly, right? So I give them the password, room 321. I give them the name, John Smith. What the fuck's your problem? Let me up. So these fuckers don't let me up, and so they call upstairs, and some guy comes down or whatever. Oh no, they say go upstairs, and they say don't go to room 321, go to room 318 or some shit like that. So I go to room 318, knock on the door, and there's a short white guy there who me and him became great friends afterwards. He goes, "You're the tailor?" I said, "I'm the tailor." Okay. So he goes, "Just give me a minute." He closes the fucking door on me. I'm standing here like an ass, so I'm getting more pissed off. I'm more pissed off at the people downstairs. I'm already pissed off at my father. I'm just pissed off in general. So the guy takes me to room 321. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you this. Who do you think was in room 321? Quickly. Come on, quick. Who was in room 321? Okay? Was it Kevin Costner or was it somebody else? Come on. It's February 2010. It wasn't Obama. It wasn't BB. Whoever said BB is stupid. It wasn't Puff Daddy. This is 15 years ago. It wasn't my father. My father was in Macau. Come on. It wasn't Kevin Costner. Come on. Somebody tell me. Come on. Who was it? It wasn't DiCaprio. Oh my goodness. It wasn't DiCaprio. It wasn't Kanye. It was Kevin Spacey. Lisa, you got it. It was fucking Kevin Spacey. Jesus, my frown turned upside down. Okay? Now, listen to this with ears, eyes, and a heart that it's 2010. Okay? In 2010, the door opens and it's Kevin Spacey. Okay? Kaiser Soze, right? He's won Best Supporting Actor for the Usual Suspect. And then he's the guy in American Beauty. He's won Best Actor. Now, this is your country, your academy, your whatever the fuck you guys call it. You gave him 2 Oscars, all right? And this is before House of Cards, right? And if you won Emmys for that. Hey, you gave him 2 Oscars, all right? I mean, how does my smile go from a frown thinking I'm going to meet Kevin Costner, who's super accomplished? I mean, I was so immature that day, okay? I was stupid and immature. I put my hand, I knew I was being stupid and immature. But that's how amazing Kevin Spacey is, okay? And especially at that time. I mean, he was a juggernaut, all right? Little man, out of nowhere, accomplished so much. I asked him, he bought 7 suits from me that day. I asked him, how did you hear about me? He said, well, I'm shooting a film in China with Daniel Wu and President Clinton. This is are you listening to this? I asked you, Kevin Spacey, how did you hear about me? He said, well, I'm shooting a film in China with a Chinese-American actor, or American-Chinese actor called Daniel Wu. Daniel Wu is also a client in front of mine, okay? And we have downtime because it's Chinese New Year, so instead of being in China, I'm here in Hong Kong. And when I was heading over, President Clinton told me, oh, you're going to Hong Kong? See my tailor, Sam the tailor. President Clinton told Kevin Spacey, see my tailor, Sam. This is Kevin Spacey's words to me. So when Kevin was shooting with Daniel Wu is a client in front of mine, okay? You can look up Daniel Wu on Instagram. You know exactly who he is, okay? Daniel Wu says, yeah, of course, go to fucking Sam the tailor. I make my suits there as well. Jesus. Kevin Spacey like, fuck. The president of my country, the former president of my country, President Clinton, has told me, oh, Kevin, you're going to Hong Kong? You got to see my tailor, Sam the tailor. And my co-star here, where I'm working in China, remember anti-China rhetoric? Americans shooting film in China. This is Kevin Spacey shooting movies in China, man. Yeah, China's fucking Matrix, right? China's the Matrix. Kevin Spacey shooting films in China, and China's the Matrix, right? Yeah? Huh? His co-star, Daniel Wu, tells him, yeah, of course, Sam Taylor. Go see Roshan. He's my boy. He makes my suits. Ha! So, I mean, this is huge for me in my career. And this is huge for my business because he's a 2-time Oscar winner. Okay? So we've got our photos up on a website of me and him. We've got the photo up in the shop and stuff. And then along comes whatever the Me Too movement was. Okay? And my dad gets all worried and immediately, and he says, take down the photo from the website. I don't even know if the website photo is there. I don't even go to my website, right? And he took it down from the store. And I felt gutted, okay? And I felt gutted. Now, till today, I don't think Kevin Spacey's in jail, okay? Until today, I don't know, because I don't care. I can't be forced to care. I mean, like if I don't care, I care about my son. You don't care about my son. Right? Does that make you a bad person? Right? You don't give a fuck about my daughter, right? Does that make you a bad person? Okay? You don't give a fuck about Serena, Saria, Rian, me, Sam Taylor, my father, my wife, my anything. You don't give a fuck about my 3 lower discs that are blown, my 2 hip bones, my labyrinths that are torn. You don't give a fuck about my problems, right? Okay? Right? You don't give a fuck about my problems, right? But why should I be forced to care about whoever was Kevin Spacey's victim, right? Like, I don't know. The guy and me became friends. He was my fucking hero. He was fucking, how old was I when I watched him in Kaiser Soze? How old was I? This is all pre-marriage, right? This is all fucking years ago. So I would have been in my teens for one of the movies and 20s for the other movie, right? You understand what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you want from me. You know what I mean? You want to vilify me if I would... The photo's not up. I guess my dad made the right decision. I don't know. If it was up to me, the photo would still be up of me and Kevin Spacey, right? But I don't know. At least I'm being honest with you, right? And I'm telling you truthfully, like, I don't know. I don't think he went to jail, right? I worked with him. He was a great guy. I worked with him. I've always said to you in all my videos, okay, all the stuff that I suddenly produce, not the side-by-sides, grow up and work with your heroes. And I've done that. I've grown up and I've worked with my heroes, okay? I've proven that over and over again. Look at my wall of fame, all right? I don't think he was ever convicted because I don't think he went to jail, right? So I don't know. But why should I join the Me Too movement? Why should I join? 300 million, how many people live in Russia? 300 million people, 200 million, they didn't join the Me Too movement, right? 1.4 billion people in China, did they join the Me Too movement? India only had their Me Too movement now. Did they join the Kevin Spacey Me Too movement? But I didn't join it. That makes me a bad person? I don't know, man. I don't know. You want to judge me? Then you go ahead. You know what I mean? But you don't give a fuck about my problems. I'm supposed to suddenly give a fuck about your problems? I'm supposed to give a fuck about your... If I can't feel... How do I manufacture myself into giving a fuck about your movement? How do I manufacture myself into giving a fuck about your movement? I don't know. So you want to crucify me because Kevin Spacey was I was in awe of him. Then I get to work with him. Then I become friends with him. Okay? Then he's killing it on House of Cards for years, right? And you guys have given him 2 Oscars already. You probably give him some fucking Emmys as well. Then you want to vilify him. And then if I don't vilify him, if I don't join, because he's been my client and my friend, then I'm a fucking bad guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. How do you inject me with American hate? How do you inject an Indian guy in Hong Kong with American hate and then I have to spew it? Okay, and if I can't spew American hate, that makes me a bad person. I don't know, guys. You know what I mean? I don't know. You want to hate on stuff. You want to be against somebody. This said, why do you have to join? Why do I have to join your movement? You know what I mean? I don't understand. Can you give me a realistic answer of why I have to join your movement? So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I can't be this public figure, okay? I can't be this bullshit public figure that, Roshan, you now have a responsibility, okay? You now have a responsibility because you're a public figure, all right? Look, I have responsibility to tell people don't commit suicide. Please don't, I'm begging you. I have responsibility to tell people please don't drink, please don't do drugs, please don't smoke, okay? Please don't jaywalk, okay? I even have a responsibility to tell people finish high school, go to college, have the opportunity to do your master's, do your PhD. No problem at all, right? But I can't have the responsibility of like, hey bro, I gotta hate Kevin Spacey because you hate Kevin Spacey. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Your cause is not my cause. You know what I'm saying? I'm so mad because I've been, vilified in these shorts nonstop for being honest and stuff, you know what I mean? And taken out of context. You know what I mean? Why can't you just watch the show and enjoy it? Why can't you just watch the show and enjoy it? I'm not even mad. I'm going to go swimming now like a champion. Have you seen my pool? You watch my videos, you see my pool, you see the life that I live. See the life that I live, see how blessed that I am. And that comes with hard work. You want a great life, you work hard. Don't tell me that's not true. I'm tired of people telling me that, they grind, they get... No, they're somewhere. They're ahead of the people that are not grinding. I'm going to leave you with a couple of notes. We've talked a lot today, okay? I think I'm going to save this kind of stuff for next week because I think we've had a great conversation today. I believe that we've gone for 64 minutes. My time is up. I could go on for another 30 minutes. But I think today's episode is a resounding response to the critique that I've received over the last 2 weeks and throughout my career. Now, I will graciously say goodbye. But before I do, I'm happy to take valid questions. I think I can see. Let me see. I hope you were here for the whole show. Now, whoever's just joined, today's show was excellent. Today's show was fucking amazing. I'm going to post it to my Instagram. It's going to be on my YouTube. Watch it. It's a great fucking show. Okay? It's an absolute great fucking show. And obviously, there's still people here that spew garbage and then didn't pick up on anything. I'm going to stay here to answer questions. It was great. Today was great, right, Daniel? Today was great. I wonder if my cohorts in London from the Watchman's Hour were actually watching. I don't think they were. I'm a model for my own brand, Ryan. My brand is Sam's Tailor. I'm based in Hong Kong. Bob, whatever the fuck your name is. I hope you watch it from the beginning. I don't know what the heck this spiritual level shit is. Okay, so I've got no valid questions. You guys were all asking questions. We're here at the end. Not sure I understand what you mean, Chris Benatti, but I really appreciate you. I'm never doing discounts. I don't understand some of the questions, guys. I don't know how old is old, but I'm telling you I'm old. Thank you, Lisa. Look, I guess there's no questions suddenly. Why would I change shop? I'm killing it here. Every style is suited sleek, Yuri. So don't sweat that. Well, I mean, you guys all wanted questions, right? So, okay, I'm going to shut down my Insta. Hey, is my dad back?
He's back, but he's out.
What do you mean by he's out?
I think he went to order the food.
Okay, but he's back, right? What gets me up in the morning? I need to pay bills. Question I've asked so many times and keep getting answered. Keep answering the same thing. Let me say bye to Instagram first.